Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with something a little bit different. Yes, of course, F1 World, the all-new feature inside F1 23, has, I've played it a little bit before on the channel. Of course, I did a preview video on it a couple of weeks ago. It's good fun. It has some very, very unique things in it that do make it quite enjoyable to play. But often, I'm not quite sure how it'll work on YouTube. But what they are doing with it, that I think is very, very cool, is the exclusive rewards. And the first one that's being brought to the game then is the McLaren Triple Crown livery. Of course, McLaren, for those of you that don't know, is the only manufacturer in the world that has won the Triple Crown. Obviously, the Monaco Grand Prix, the Le Mans 24 Hours, and the Indy 500. So yeah, you can now obviously access the livery that they ran back at Monaco and then also Barcelona for some reason inside F1 23. But you've got to do an F1 World Challenge to unlock it. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Just for those of you that obviously do want to unlock this livery, if you didn't know about it, you haven't got much time left. The livery, I think you have to do it by 10 AM UK time tomorrow morning. So about 16 hours after this video goes live, hopefully. So yeah, you haven't got a lot of time to get on with it. So, if you sort of want it, you're going to have to, yeah, like I said, really jump in. Now, it looks like a fairly sort of standard challenge. So what you do, obviously, is you head into F1 World, you head into the solo and multiplayer events, and you head down to the McLaren Anniversary event. With the end of a dramatic Formula 1 Pirelli Grand Prix de Canada 2023 in sight, Lando Norris finds himself in a solid scoring position. As conditions evolve, can you use them to his advantage and secure an impressive podium finish? So looks like it is going to be wet weather racing here from Canada. Yeah, I'm tempted to do more of these on this channel, of course, my Clips channel, or what was used to be my Clips channel. I'm going to do just loads of different random bits and pieces with it. Things that might not make a full video over on the main channel, but still that I want to do inside F1 23. So yeah, let's get into it though. Get yourself subscribed and yeah, let's see what this challenge is all about.
The F1 World Calendar takes us across the globe and back home again. Welcome along to our latest event. Who knows what's going to happen today?
Right, so here we are then. Objective, finish in third position or higher in the Canada McLaren Anniversary event. Of course, in terms of setup, it's very, very raining. So we're definitely going to want a little bit of downforce on the car. Of course, lucky that I did the Canada My Team video earlier on today, so I should be a little bit more prepared here for the Canadian Grand Prix. But yeah, we'll bolt on the setup and we'll see, of course, if we don't pass it first time, what changes we might need. Of course, more than welcome. If you're struggling with this challenge, try the setup out as well for yourself, see if it works out. Of course, I'm going to be releasing setup videos over on my League Racing or Sim Racing channel as well, for those of you that are interested. So we're going to have a lot of F1 23 content in a lot of different places. But yeah, what position are we currently in then in this race, and how many laps left here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve have we got to try and make an impact? Let's just wait and see. As you can hear the traction control there. So we're in 7th. And now I know that we need to be careful on the throttle. Right, second attempt then of this challenge. Make sure we don't try and spin off the start this time round. So, obviously I did a little bit of a practice to sort of see what the challenge is all about then. So yeah, 7 laps to go. Currently running down in P7 as... that is immediately not the line we want. DRS is going to pretty much immediately be enabled, and you do want to make the switch as soon as possible over onto a set of dry compound tyres. Now, in terms though of AI for this challenge, of course, you get the car as long as you complete the challenge. So if you just want to do it as easily as possible, turn the AI down really low and absolutely dominate the race. If you want still a bit of a challenge, I'd say you don't quite want to run the same level as you normally do inside F1 23. It does seem to be a little bit more difficult, of course, because you're trying to gain time against the AI. Now, obviously, RNG does come into it a tiny bit, so you've got to be a bit careful. But I would suggest running about between 8 and 12 points lower than what you normally do. And, of course, like I said, if you just want to complete the challenge as quickly as possible, run it on 30. Doesn't really matter, does it? You're just trying to get the livery at the end of the day. Is heading back out then of the pit lane. Yuki Tsunoda and myself both opting for a slightly earlier stop. I think George Russell as well is another car that peels into the pit lane a bit sooner than most. But so as we head back out the pit lane then, we're going to be in about P13 by the looks of it. Got to be a bit careful on this outlap, of course, on the dry tyres as Nick de Vries a lap behind us in P15. So clearly this has been a race of attrition. You can already see how much time we're gaining on the drivers still running intermediates. There's Zhou Guanyu, Oscar Piastri both really struggling to find any sort of pace towards the end of this lap, and luckily holding up the AlphaTauri of Yuki Tsunoda a little bit for myself. So they're both going to peel into the pit lane then at the end of this one. I think Alonso and Carlos Sainz are going to stay out one extra lap then, as you can see. Oh no, Zhou Guanyu opting to stay out yet another lap then in this GP. So we should now get the jump on Lance Stroll as well, which is quite important. We're going to be very, very close to him, as you're going to get clean lap awards every single time, of course, you do a clean lap. So yeah, want to try and obviously rack up a few of those as well. There are, you know, for those of you that do play F1 Worlds, there are some bonus, obviously, objectives as well. You know, if you finish, a bit of a dive, yeah, if you finish inside like the top 5% of the global leaderboard and things like that, you will pick up extra rewards as well. I think it scales from like top 5 to top 75. So, you know, if you are playing F1 World, you know, you want some cool cosmetics and some other little in-game perks as well, then obviously you're going to have to run the higher AI level because they affect your score quite dramatically. But of course, you know, once you've done it a few times, I'm sure you can really try and nail in an AI level that works for yourself. Alonso and Sainz into the pits. That's going to allow both Alpines, Ocon and Gasly to move up the order a little bit more. Kevin Magnussen also into the pit lane. So we're going to now be able to 6th place then of this GP. And you can see, yeah, those cars aren't too far up the road, but we've still got to push a lot towards the end. So yellow flags out. That's the other thing I forgot to mention. Carlos Sainz looks like he's also guaranteed to have an engine failure as well late on in the day. So that really now means, of course, you are just trying to race those Alpine cars that are a little bit further up. There is the stricken Ferrari. As, yeah, we've got to close up to Yuki Tsunoda before we can look to Ocon. 8 seconds up the road, Esteban. So it's not like he's right in front of you. End of lap 67, opening up the DRS though to the outside of Yuki Tsunoda as we head down the back straight. Hopefully the AlphaTauri car isn't going to put up too much of a fight, and there we go, we will swoop past him. Can afford to be a little bit brave, you know, with the curbing through the final chicane, but yeah, Gasly actually a lap down on Esteban Ocon here, so yeah, you really are just chasing one Frenchman rather than both. But yeah, we've got to just try and make sure. It probably will come down to the very last lap here. When you can see there, the Alpines actually duking out with each other down in towards the final chicane, so I'm sure Otmar Safnauer would not be happy to see that between his two cars, especially when one of them is a lap down. But, I mean, that's what I mean about the RNG. We've just taken well over a second extra out of him on that lap. Right, about to start the final lap then of this race. Looks like Alonso and George Russell at the front of the field are also now duking it out. So let's try and make our way through the final chicane. It is all about being confident through that final chicane. You're going to be able to find yourself a lot of time if you're able to do that. It's our 6th clean lap then at the possible 7, and obviously we've still got one more lap to go as Gasly will jump out of the way for me through the first couple of corners. We've got to make sure we're inside the DRS range of Esteban Ocon. There plenty of curb through turn 3 and turn 4. Once again, I think this is set up for regular corner cutting, either that or it's just imported by career mode settings. But, you know, obviously if you're on strict, it's going to be a lot more difficult, but I think you will get a slight bonus, obviously, if you're worried about the leaderboard points there. But yeah, just trying to save a little bit of battery. Fernando Alonso looks like he is going to take the dub here, but we need to try and get a run on his former teammate Esteban Ocon. Just be very, very brave over the curbing. Are we going to be able to get a run up towards the line there? Very, very cheeky. We're going to be drag racing. I think we did it. I think we did it by 7,000ths of a second there. Yep, there we go. That is P3 here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. And, well, that one, like I said, between 8 and 12 AI lower than you normally run, still definitely gave us a run for our money there come the end of the day. And there we go then. Yep, by 7,000ths of a second, we get Esteban Ocon. A little bit cheeky through the final corner, but, you know, we had to do what we had to do there. I don't know whether it will give us... There we go. We will have a look at our score sheet as well. Apparently, I scored nothing from that, so I don't know quite how we managed that one. No points scored, so I'm not going to get any bonuses from that challenge either. But yeah, what will happen then, of course, is at 10 AM tomorrow morning, anyone that, of course, that's been able to complete the challenge will get the register bonus as well. So there we go. That's just hopefully a handy little guide for those of you wondering how F1 World works inside F1 at 23. You can see there we even picked up some nice little bonuses as well. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we'll be back very, very soon with more Formula 1 related content.